Hello. Okay, we are going to be working on lesson 7 today. So you want to get those materials together for lesson 7. And I would like to talk with you just a minute as we go through the pages that you're going to need to be doing. On this activity sheet, you're going to be spelling the number words. So if this was 1, then you are going to write the word 1. Just to kind of get you started here. So 1, and then 2, then 3, then 4, all the way up to 100. So you're going to be spelling those number words correctly. And you are welcome to use something to help you with that. I have a chart here in my classroom that my students will be using during face-to-face learning. So you are welcome to go online so that your student knows how to spell those correctly. Some of them are a little bit tricky, especially when you get into the 3, 13, and 30, and the 4, 14, and 40, and the 5, 15, and 50. Some of them are a little interesting. Okay, so then when you come over to the problem set where you have to match the word or the unit form with the standard form, I'm going to ask you not to draw a line. Instead, I would prefer don't draw a line, but write the number. So if I was going to do 234, I would write 234. 234, and then I'm going to find 234 and cross it out. So there's your first thing. Please write the number. It will be much easier for you to do it, and it will also be easier for you to correct it as a parent. Okay, moving on. As we move over to the problem set, the next page, again, you are going to write the numbers. So you only have 3 numbers that you're working with: 434, 863, and 509. So you're going to write 509 like so. And you will be reusing those numbers. So you're looking for all the ways of expressing that number. So instead of drawing a line to match, would you please write those numbers out? Okay. Then you need to do the homework page, and there's a second part of the homework page, and of course the last page would be your exit ticket, and you need to make sure that your name is on it with the date that you do it, and you need to send that to your teacher. All right, my friends, so we are going to start with our fluency practice today, and I am going to write the number, this number here. Okay, so here is the standard number 157, and I need you to write this number in unit form. Unit form. So I have standard form, and your job is to write that number in unit form. So stop the video and give it a try. Okay, are you back? Okay, so if you were writing that in unit form, you would have said 100. This is unit form. And then I have 5 tens and 7 ones. So if you did that in unit form, it would look like this. Unit form is this way, and standard form is the first way I wrote it. So standard form and unit form. We're going to do a few more exercises like this, except I'm going to be changing things. All right, so let's erase. And this time you are going to write 100. Whoops, boo-boo, mister. 157, here's standard form, but you are going to write it in expanded form, what we talked about yesterday. Expanded form. Okay, so pause the video. You're going to try writing this in expanded form. Are you back? I hope you said 100 plus 50 plus 7, which is expanded form. If you're still having trouble with that, it would probably be a good idea for you to take a few minutes to practice it. Okay, so now we're going to try another one. Okay, so what if I said 50 plus 7 plus 100. What is the standard number that would be? Okay, so I have written the expanded form of the next number, and I need you to write the standard form. 50 plus 7 plus 100. Pause the video and get it done. Okay, are you back? I hope you said that there was 100. There is 5 tens, which is the same value as 50, and 7 ones. So even though they're not in the same order, or not in value order, it still adds up to be the same value, 157. So now I would like you to tell me, what is the value if I was looking at this number, if I was only going to show my value as ones? If I was only going to show my value as ones, is it possible that I could write it as 157 ones? Would that be reasonable that I could have 157 ones? I absolutely could have 157 ones. If I was only using 1 as my unit, I could absolutely have 157 ones. What if I was going to ask you for the same number, 157, if I said, how would I, or how many tens, if I was going to say how many tens are there in 157, well, I wouldn't be able to consider my ones because that's not enough to make a 10, is there? But can I tell how many tens there are in 157? If you said, well, Miss Starr, there would be 15 tens, you would be absolutely correct because there are 15 tens if I was only going to refer to them as tens. I could say, yes, Miss Starr, there are 15 tens. Can't make a 10 out of that 7, but I could say that there is 15 tens. Okay, and I would like to know what digit in 157 is in the ones place. What digit is in the ones place? What digit is in the ones place? Well, if you said, well, Miss Starr, that's pretty easy, that would be 7, you would be absolutely correct. There's a 7 in the ones place. If I asked you the value, this is different. I'm going to be asking you the value. What is the value of, in number 157, what is the value of the 5 in 157? I'm looking for the value. If you said the value of 5 would be 50, you would be correct. The value of the 5 in the tens place would be 50 because that's what it represents. All right, so now as you look at what I have in front of you, you can see that I have laid out some money. I have $10 bills and I have a $5 bill. Well, this is just like counting by tens and by fives like we've been doing. So let's find out what the value is of these 5 pieces of money. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tens and 1 group of 5. Well, that would be like 5 ones, but it is like a group of 5. So let's count that. Are you ready? $10, $20, $30, $40 plus another 5 would give me $45. So I've got 4 tens and 5 ones, or a group of 5. All right, so I'm going to continue to add money into our $45 and see how that's going to change things. What if I put down another 10? Well, I had 45 and I went up 10. What would that be? Did you say 55? If you did, congratulations. What if I put in another 10? So from 55 to, did you say 65? And what if I put in another 10? 75. Keep going up to 85. $10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 plus this 5 gives us 85. What if I kept on going and I put in another group of 10? I'm going to push these up just a little bit so you can see. Hopefully you can still see. I'm going to put in another $10. So I went up from 85 to 95. All right, and what if I went one more? From 95 to, ooh, that's a little harder because I had to skip over 100. From 95, I hope you said to 105. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus 5 more would give me 105. What if I took one of those 10s away? What would I have now? Did you say 95? Well, that would be correct. If I took 10 more away, it would be 85. What if I took 10 more away? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus that 5 gives me 75. Take another one away, so I'm subtracting 10. Gives me 65 and 55 and 45 and 35 and 25 and, ooh, what do I have left if I take that one away? One group of 10 and a group of 5 gives me, I hope you said, 15. And if I took that 10 away, wow, I'm only left with $5 little. What do you know? So $5 little is all I have left after I spent all of that $105. Hey, you will need to have your whiteboard. I am going to show you some words, numbers in word form. I'm going to show you some numbers in word form. You're going to read that number, and you are going to write what that number is on your whiteboard. Are you ready to try this one? So we're going from word form to standard form. You're going to read this number and then write it in standard form. Are you ready? And try it out. Are you back? I hope you said that this was 465. We have 465 and 465. I want you to notice that when you're connecting tens and ones, you need to use a hyphen. A hyphen is a connector when we're writing number or word form. So anytime you have tens and ones, you're going to connect with a hyphen. So 465 is word form. 465 this way is standard form. Okay, so we're going to move down to the next one while I fold down my paper. All right, so you're going to look at this one and you're going to write what it is off to the side. Ready? Do it now. Did you say that this was 217? No hyphen because I'm not connecting tens and ones. 200, 217, 17. Word form and standard form. Okay, let's come down to the next one. Here you go, same thing. Did you write it down? I hope you did. 901. Exactly the way you read it, 901 is exactly how you write it. I'm not connecting tens and ones, so I do not need to have a hyphen. So far, only the first one required a hyphen. Then I'm going to come down to my last one. This one's a little bit more tricky. This time I have 13 tens and 2 ones. Oops, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been on that one yet. I need to be on this one. Sorry, I have 2 tens, 7 hundreds, and 3 ones. What would that be in standard form? Of course, this form is unit form, so let's just write that down. This is unit form, where we're showing the values according to their units. So 2 tens, 7 hundreds, and 3 ones. Write it off to the side. Remember, you're going to standard form. If you said that that would be 723, you would be exactly correct. 2 tens, 7 hundreds, and 3 ones. 2 tens, 7 hundreds, and 3 ones. This one is called unit form. standard form, standard form, standard form, and standard form. And our very last one is probably for our really advanced learners. What would 13 tens and 2 ones be? We've done a little bit with this. What would 13 tens and 2 ones be? If you said that 13 tens would be 13 tens, which would be one group of one, or one 100 in the hundreds place and a 3 in the tens place, you would be on the right track. And if you added in the 2 ones, you would come up with 132. From unit form, just using tens and not any hundreds, you would still come up with 132. If I was writing that in standard or in expanded form, it would be 100 plus 30 plus 2, if I was going to write it in expanded form. Let us continue on. We have a word problem we're going to be working on, and you can see that I got a lot of money laying down here on my thing. It says that Billy found a briefcase full of money. He counted 23 $10 bills, because remember, I'm going to be using cubes. And I also want to do read, draw, and write. Remember, if I'm going to be doing a word problem, I'm going to have to answer with a word answer. So he found 23 $10 bills and 2 $100 bills and 4 $1 bills. How much money was in the briefcase? Well, let's see. We're going to have to do some thinking here. I'm going to put this money up here for just a minute. I want to know how I would answer this question. There is blank numbers of dollars, blank dollars in the briefcase. So that's the question that I have to answer. By the time I get done, I need to be able to tell how much money is in the briefcase. Okay, so I underlined the question, how much money was in the briefcase, and here is my answer. There is blank dollars in the briefcase. Wow, woo. Okay, I just want to do some counting here. So I got a whole stack of tens. Do you see that whole? That's a big stack of tens. And I think I have 23 of them, so let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So there was 23 $10 bills. There's a big stack of those. That's what this part was. And then there was 2, this one's kind of a little bit easier. There was 2 $100 bills, so that's not so hard. And there was 4 $1 bills. So I'm going to put down those 4 $1 bills. That's what was inside the briefcase. And my job is to figure out how much money was in that briefcase. So I think the ones and the hundreds, yeah, they're pretty easy because there's not too many. What I really have to do is figure out how much money is there in, what was it? 23 $10 bills is equal to how much? I think that probably better be the first thing we figure out. So I'm going to ask you to pause your video for just a minute and maybe draw me a picture of what $23 bills would look like and how I could figure out its value. So you are going to pause your video, and I want you to figure out how much 23 $10 bills would be. Okay, pause the video. I might have given you a little hint because I forgot to pause the video, but I've drawn myself a picture of 23 $10 bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. If I have 23 $10 bills, will I be able to figure out the value of these 23 $10 bills right here? That's a lot of moolah. Should I be able to figure that out by drawing myself a picture? If you haven't written something here yet, I want you to pause the video again and give it a try. All right, let's count that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So right here, how much does that equal? That's the same as 100. Oh, I'm just simplifying. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So there's another 100. And how many more do I have there? I have 3 more 10s. So I've got, oops, sorry, that would not be 3 more 10s. That would be 10, 20, 30. So can I add 100, 130? If you got $230, you should give yourself a big smiley face. Maybe you drew a picture like mine, or maybe you had another way of figuring it out. So once I know that I have $230, and I'm now going to have to add, remember I had 2 $100 bills. Will that be easy to add? Okay, so I'm going to add another 200. That's pretty easy, right? Because that's not like 23 $10 bills, but definitely a lot easier to add. And then what did I have still? It looks like I still had 4 $1 bills. Did I have 4 $1 bills? Okay, so that makes that easy. So that's going to be adding 4. Can you figure out how much money you would have altogether by solving this equation? 230 plus 200 plus 4. So $230 in 10s, $200 in hundreds, and $4 in ones. Pause the video and figure that out. So, did you say 230 plus 200? If I combine those two, wouldn't I get 430? I think I would. So 430 plus another $4. So 430 plus another $4 should give me $434. And if you came up with $434, you should give yourself a big smiley face. So yes, all in total, money in that briefcase, a lot of moolah la la la, $434. That was kind of fun. I liked that. All right, so it looks like we're ready to have you start your packet now. You've got 2 sprints that you need to do. Sprint number 1, please remember that your sprints go for 1 minute. And you'll need to have somebody time you on those sprints, as I won't be doing that now. So you're going to time for 1 minute and get through as many as you can on your sprint. And then you're going to come over to the second side, time yourself for 1 minute. And of course, you want to see your score go up. So have somebody time you for a minute on this sprint. And then you are going to come over. Remember, I told you you're going to spell all of the number words for that activity sheet. And then you're going to go through and do the problems as I explained earlier today, or earlier on this video. And of course, once you get to not the exit ticket, when you get to the exit ticket, you shouldn't do that until you have had your parents correct your other pages. Don't do this. Don't do the exit ticket. The exit ticket until someone checks your problem set. Oh, I'm going to run out of space. Someone checks your problem set and homework. So remember, you should not have anybody you should not be moving on till the exit ticket until you're sure that you understand the problem set and the problem set and the homework. That should be done by a parent. Should you be correcting your own work? No, you need to have your parents come and correct. So now it is your job to have someone help you with your sprint. They're going to need to time you for a minute for both. And then you're going to need to work these pages. And then when you're all the way finished, which is probably going to take you maybe about 20 minutes to maybe 30 to get all of those pages done. And then a parent will need to come and help you check your work. Okay? Alrighty. Pause the video and I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so here are the answers to the sprint. Pause the video, parents, so that you can check your students' work to see where they got to, and put their number correct up at the top. This should be done by a parent. And also they need to do a second sprint. Remember, those sprints run for a minute, and see if their score didn't go up on the second sprint. So you can pause the video and check the answers with your student. Okay, then here are the answers. Students, make sure that your parents are the ones who are correcting these pages and not you. So you were supposed to write all of the number words. Here they are with the correct spelling. And now I have highlighted things that you probably ought to pay attention to. Like there's the little word 11 or even in the word 11. And when you're writing 2, 12, and 20, they all start with that TW. And this one has TWE, TWE. We're looking for ways to make these a little easier to remember. When you're doing 3 and moving to 13 and 30, notice that they start different. 13 and 30 start the same way. But that is not true when we're looking at the number 3. So these are things that you need to be thinking about. Notice that as you are writing the words 4, 14, and 40, by the time you get to 40, the spelling has changed. This one has 4, and this one has 4. But the last one, the U, is not there. So you need to pay attention to that. 5 to 15, F-I-F-T, and 50 also has that F-I-F-T. So these are things that you might want to watch. The next ones are easy because they have 6, 6, and 6, 7, 7, and 7, 8, 8, and 8, 9, 9, and 9, and of course the last one, 10, 20, and make sure that you had your student write not just 100, but 100. All right, so you can pause the video and you can take a moment and talk with your student about ways they can remember how to spell those words in the future. And if you'd like to have your student practice those as a spelling list, that would be a great idea. We will most likely be doing that here at school too when we have a few minutes to work on that. Okay, so then we come over to this page. Remember, you were not supposed to draw a line, but you can put the video on pause and check your students' answers to see how they did. So pause the video so you can check this one. And then we're moving on to the second side where they had to use these 3 numbers, and you can check to see how they did. If they made a boo-boo, parents, on any of these pages, you should go back and have them fix their own work without you telling them where they made their mistake. One of the best ways to learn is to have somebody say, you need to go back and look at number E, if that was the one that they missed. So pause the video. Then we're moving on to the homework page. Here are the answers that your student should have written. If they have a mistake, my friends, you really do need to have them go back and try fixing their own work. Notice that on this one, they need to have a hyphen. That hyphen connects the 10s and the 1s, as I pointed out in our fluency practice earlier in this video. Okay, and of course there's one more part of the homework page, and you can check to see how they did on that. And then of course after that is completed, your student needs to make sure that they put their name on their exit ticket, and then they need to send that to their teacher. And taking a picture of it and sending it to us would be great. We have some students that simply don't do this, and so we really can't give you a grade because we don't know how you're doing. So we just assume that you're not doing anything. So we do have to have a grade from you, and the only way we can see that is by your exit tickets. So make sure you get those done, friends, and you have a great day of learning.